Hello cozy besties and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Liv and I love to create lots of fun cozy content from cozy gaming to books and literally everything in between. So if you want your little daily dose of that, be sure to check out my TikTok at Charette as a gamer and my Instagram at Charette for all your cozy needs. If you guys saw my last video, you probably saw me unbox my brand new Kindle Colorsoft, and I told you guys that I would test it out throughout the week, do some reading, see how I feel, use some of the features, and just report back with my thoughts. Well, that's this video. A little backstory, ever since the Kindle Colorsoft was released, it's been something that I'd been considering getting, but having seen a lot of mixed reviews online, some people complaining about a little yellow bar at the bottom, people saying it's not worth the money because it's a more expensive e-reader, etc., and then other people absolutely loving it and saying it's their favorite Kindle that they've ever owned. I was kind of on the fence about it and unsure until I finally decided it was time for me to get it. I couldn't wait any longer and I said, hey, the worst thing that could happen is that I don't like it and I return it. I'd been comparing a few other colored e-readers and it was really between the Kobo Libra Color and the Kindle Colorsoft, and I ultimately decided on the Colorsoft, mostly because I'd gone in store, I had checked out the Kobo Libra Color, and honestly, I wasn't blown away by it. It was super grainy and it could just be that it was like the floor display. I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel like the demos are just handled so much that they don't really reflect the quality of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. I could be just totally crazy and maybe it is just what it is, but for me, I wasn't blown away. I'd gone into the store and seen it probably 5 times and I just wasn't 100% convinced by it, and I guess if you have that feeling, you probably shouldn't get it. The Kindle Colorsoft, on the other hand, I'd been watching a lot of different YouTube videos, a lot of TikTok videos, and from what I'd seen, some up-close shots, I was pretty impressed by the quality and I just decided it was time. So we got it. Here she is, my beautiful Kindle Colorsoft. And honestly, you guys, before we get into the video on the specifics, I regret nothing. This Kindle is my favorite Kindle that I've ever owned. It's the second one I've ever owned. My previous version was the Kindle Paperwhite, I believe it's the 2023 model or 2021. I'll put it up on the screen, I kind of forget. So that is what I'm kind of basing this comparison on, and just my overall thoughts and feelings after using this little baby for the last week. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate just how cute my Kindle case is? I've always liked the Kindle sticker look, but I recently discovered Kindle inserts and it just makes so much more sense to me. So I got this one that is Daisy Hates inspired, because while I love Magnolia Parks, I am a Daisy girl through and through. So I found this one on Etsy. I'll have it linked below, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Small business, of course, and I just love the artwork. I printed it out at my local Staples. They printed it on like a higher quality paper, really nice and sharp and very detailed, way better than my at-home printer would do. If you're gonna do it right. All right, enough yapping. I could talk for hours because I love Kindles, I love reading, and I could just keep on going, but we're gonna get into the video and I'm gonna tell you all of my thoughts after using the Kindle Colorsoft for this last week. These are just some notes that I've written in my phone over the last week of just things that I was sort of thinking in the moment as I was using my Kindle, and we'll just kind of go from there. So the first point that I want to make is that the colored experience is not overrated, okay? Whether it's experiencing the book itself, if you're reading a graphic novel, or if you're reading even just a book that has some pictures in it. What I've also seen too is some of the books that I've been reading, some of the text dialogue will be like in blue and white, so it really does feel like you're reading a text thread on iPhone. It's pretty cool and it really does enhance the overall reading experience, which I absolutely love. Since I read mostly novels, I didn't really think that this would be that much of a game changer while I'm actually reading my book, and more so in the annotation department, in the Kindle store experience, and just maybe some fantasy maps. But overall, I thought that reading the book wouldn't make that much of a difference because there's just not that many pictures. There's a lot of titles that are in color that I wasn't expecting, and it just kind of adds a little bit of personality to your overall reading experience, which is really fun. Is it an absolute must? No, but if you're somebody like me who really does enjoy different technology and you're a little bit of a nerd that way, you might really enjoy it, and I definitely do. I also love that your screensaver, whether you choose to just go with the Amazon screensavers, which I think are all really cute and definitely have color in mind, because because they're all sort of like rainbow colored. It's very cool. But if you choose to have your current read as the cover, it is really cool to actually see the cover of the book in color. For instance, I'm currently reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and just seeing that cover in color just makes me happy. I don't know, it's the simple things. Adding on to the color aspect, because really that is the big seller of the Kindle Colorsoft, annotating is so much fun. I love being able to annotate in different colors. You have 4 different options, and I've always been somebody that loves to annotate on Kindle, and if I own the physical book, I like to take those annotations and move it to the physical book after. I'm just somebody that finds reading on Kindle more comfortable than reading in a physical book. It's just fun to be able to take those annotations and move them to the book and have specific categories for each quote that you might be underlying. So you could do pink for a quote about love, or you could do blue whenever it's about character development, etc., etc. That's something that I typically do when I am reading physical books, is using different colors for different purposes, and I could never really do that on Kindle. It was just kind of like a whole pile of annotations that I'd kind of have to sift through after the fact. So for me and my personal annotation system, this is definitely a game changer. What's really cool too is that your Kindle will organize them by color after the fact whenever you look up the quotes, so that's also really cool to be able to see and organize it later on. With it being color, I was wondering if maybe I would find it a little bit harder on the eyes when reading, and I've absolutely experienced 0 issues. The color feels like you're kind of reading like a newspaper, where it's definitely faded. It's not like looking on an iPad in any way, shape, or form, but it's enough color to enhance your experience and give you the overall vibe of the book cover or whatever it might be that's in color. Of course, this technology is still e-ink, so that's why the colors are more muted. And honestly, my eyes at night thank me for this, because reading on an iPad is just not the same. Being able to unplug from the internet and still read on a Kindle and still have that colored experience is just, I can't explain it. It means a lot. It's very cool. Another thing that I really do notice about the Kindle Colorsoft, comparing it to my Paperwhite that is now almost 2 years old, and obviously the previous edition of the Kindle Paperwhite, I definitely noticed how much faster the Kindle Colorsoft was, whether that's in turning the page, and I always turn on page refresh for every page just so you don't get that kind of like ink bleed that can sometimes happen. So I always refresh the page, and I would find with my Kindle Paperwhite, sometimes that would make the page turning a little bit slower. Not a huge difference where you're getting absolutely frustrated, but it definitely is a nice little perk that it's speedy and that you can find whatever page you're on really fast if you need to. And also, while downloading books off the Kindle store, or if you've loaded them from Libby, 100% faster. Talking specifically about battery life, a lot of people were complaining that the battery on the Kindle Colorsoft wasn't as good as the others. And honestly, I don't really feel like I have room to complain. If I have to charge my Kindle once a week or once every 2 weeks, like, does it really matter? I don't really understand the argument in that. I have to charge my phone every single night. I have to charge my Apple Watch every night, my computer. Sometimes I feel like people get really hung up on having to charge their Kindle more often. I guess it's like this expectation that it lasts like a month. I don't really care about that as long as it works. But if I am talking about the battery, I've only charged it once this entire week, and I charged it when it was at like 20%. And it came out of the box at, I think, like 50%. So the battery only really depleted like 30% in a week. So I have 0 complaints from the battery. I think it's perfect. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. I also wanted to note on the quality of the screen, which I feel is like something that a lot of people complain about as well, that there's a slight bit of graininess. And overall, I haven't really noticed that much, especially comparing it to the Kobo Libra Color. I found that screen to be literally like you could see speckles. And I don't find that with the Kindle Colorsoft at all. Is there like the slightest bit of a blur? I can see what people are saying if you're really comparing it to the brand new Kindle Paperwhite, like maybe the slightest bit, but it's not a deal breaker in any way, shape, or form. It's super clear, and based on the way that people were talking about this in some reviews, that's what kind of stopped me from getting it, because I thought it would be kind of like the Kobo Libra Color, where it definitely was noticeable, and that's why I just didn't get it for the longest time, because I was like, well, why would I downgrade my Kindle? Like, mine is super crisp right now, but now that I've had it for a week and I've read 2 books on it so far, I can tell you that it is absolutely not grainy. I think that that's honestly being insanely picky. I also personally don't have the yellow hue at the bottom, which a lot of people have mentioned. I think that that was fixed with a Kindle update that came out a few months back whenever it was first released, so I don't notice that at all. Mine doesn't have it, so if that's something that's also been holding you back, definitely know that it's been fixed. At least from my experience, mine doesn't have one. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about the yellow hue in a while, especially when they've gotten a Kindle Colorsoft lately, so I can only give you my word on it, which is mine doesn't have one. All of this being said, is it worth the price tag of $279 US plus tax? I would say yes, 100%. But keep in mind, this is coming from somebody that literally reads every single night. Reading is one of my favorite cozy hobbies, and anything that enhances my hobbies and makes them more fun, a more enjoyable experience, I'm gonna be 100% behind. I think overall it's personal preference and what you're willing to allocate to your Kindle fund in purchasing one. That is totally up to you. Of course, there are other models like the Kindle Basic that work excellent. There's also the Kindle Paperwhite, of course, which is just a standard, and I've owned for several years and absolutely love as well, but I haven't looked back. Let's just say that. I hope this helped you maybe make a decision whether you're considering getting one of these, or if maybe you were teetering on getting the Kindle Paperwhite, the Kindle Basic, and this helped you decide whether or not you want to invest in the Colorsoft or you're good with some of the other models. Just here to help and hope that this clarified a few things for you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them below. I'll have the Kindle Colorsoft linked. I'll have my case, pop socket, and Kindle inserts linked below as well if you want to check them out. Be sure to like and subscribe. Lots more cozy content coming your way. I hope you all have an incredible week, and until next time, bye cozy besties.